The town of Sea Haven looks safe and friendly. Everything feels clean, predictable, settled into a rhythm that never really changes. People smile at the right moments. Conversations land exactly where they should. Every interaction feels smooth, almost too smooth. Sea Haven offers a life that feels easy to live inside. At the same time, every path quietly leads back to where it started. The streets loop, the days repeat. The ocean sits at the edge like something to avoid. No fences anywhere. There's no visible barrier. Just a feeling that going too far might not be a good idea. And inside that feeling, a life unfolds that seems whole, until something small begins to feel off. The Truman Show begins as a simple premise: a man living inside a world built entirely for him. Every person around him plays a part. Every moment is arranged. Every detail exists for a reason he can't see. At first, the story feels like satire, a look at entertainment, at media, at how people watch other people. Then something deeper starts to come through, because the film lines up closely with ideas found in Gnosticism, ancient teachings that describe the world as something constructed, a place that feels complete on the surface while something more real exists beyond it. In Gnostic texts, the physical world does not come from the highest source. It comes from a lower creator, a being that forms a world and presents it as the full picture. That figure is often called the demiurge. The demiurge creates a reality that looks finished. Those inside it live their lives unaware that something beyond it exists. That goal in those teachings involves awakening, seeing clearly, realizing that the world in front of you may not be the final layer. And Sea Haven reflects that idea almost exactly. The sun rises because someone turns it on. The weather changes because someone decides it should. Every person Truman meets follows a pattern, even when it feels natural. Nothing happens by chance here. Everything follows a plan that sits just out of sight. And above all of it stands Kristoff, played by the one and only Ed Harris. Kristoff watches from above. He speaks from the sky. He shapes everything Truman experiences. There's something important about how he presents himself. He's calm and he's assured. He's certain that what he created serves a purpose. He believes he has given Truman a better life. A life without danger, a life without uncertainty. That belief gives him a sense of justification. From his point of view, he's done something good. From Truman's point of view, something else begins to emerge. Gnostic teachings often describe the demiurge as unaware of a higher truth. A creator that believes its own world is the only world. That idea connects directly to Kristoff. He doesn't see himself as limiting Truman. He sees himself as protecting him. And that difference is really important here, because it shows how a world can be built with intention while still keeping someone from seeing beyond it. Truman Burbank, played by Jim Carrey in one of his greatest roles, doesn't wake up all at once. There's no sudden moment where everything becomes clear. Awareness builds gradually. It starts with noticing. A light falls from the sky. A radio describes his exact movements. People repeat phrases that feel slightly off. Conversations land in a way that feel rehearsed. There's even product placements. At first, each moment feels small, but together they begin to form a pattern. And once a pattern appears, it becomes harder to ignore. In Gnosticism, the word gnosis refers to direct knowing, not learning through study, seeing something for what it truly is. That process unfolds inside Truman. He begins to question what he once accepted without hesitation. Why does everyone behave the same way? Why do certain situations repeat? Why does the world respond to him in ways that feel coordinated? Each question brings him closer to clarity. Fear plays a role early on. As a child, Truman experiences a moment tied to water, a traumatic event placed there intentionally. From that point forward, the ocean becomes something he avoids. And that single fear shapes his entire world. As long as he stays away from the water, he remains inside the environment created for him. No physical barriers needed. The idea placed in his mind becomes enough. So his daily life continues. Neighbors greet him. Coworkers repeat the same routines. Familiar patterns surround him at all times. At first, that kind of life feels stable. Over time, though, it starts to feel limiting because nothing changes. Nothing grows. Everything stays exactly where it is. There's a shift when Truman begins to act differently. He drives without a destination. He takes routes he never takes. He tests how the world responds. And the responses begin to reveal something. Traffic appears at the exact moment he tries to leave. People step in just at the right time to redirect him. Events unfold too perfectly. The world starts to feel arranged. This connects deeply with Gnostic ideas. In those teachings, the world operates in a way that keeps individuals focused on the surface. There's repetition, there's distraction, there's daily routines. All of it keeps attention directed outward. The deeper truth remains hidden unless someone begins to question what they're seeing. And the storm becomes a turning point for Truman. The oceans rise against him. Waves crash. The sky darkens. Everything Truman feared stands directly in front of him. And still, he continues forward. That moment shows something important. Once someone begins to see clearly, fear loses some of its influence. It still exists. It still feels real. It just no longer decides the outcome. When Truman reaches the edge, everything comes into focus. The boat hits the sky. There's no horizon here. It's a facade. There's painted clouds. A world that ends where it once seemed endless. And then a staircase appears. It leads upward. A door stands in front of him. It's simple, and it's final. And then Kristoff speaks. His voice comes from everywhere. He explains the world he built. He explains the intention behind it. He offers Truman a reason to stay. Everything familiar exists here. Everything outside remains unknown. And that moment reflects a central idea in Gnosticism. The world presents itself as complete. Stepping beyond it requires leaving behind everything known. That choice feels difficult, not because the world holds someone physically, but because it feels familiar. Truman stands there, fully aware. He sees the environment for what it is. He understands how life has been shaped. And still, he has to choose. Freedom begins with seeing clearly. And once that happens, everything changes. The world no longer feels the same. What once felt natural now feels arranged. What once felt permanent now feels temporary. Truman pauses, he takes a breath, and he delivers the same line he's always said. In case I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. A polite goodbye. A habit from the life he lived. And then he steps through the door. That step carries weight. No one forces it. No one pushes him. He chooses. And his awareness led him there. The film ends without showing what comes next. There's no certainty what lies beyond that door. Just a door opening into something real. Gnostic teachings often describe this moment as awakening, seeing beyond the surface, recognizing that what appears complete may not be the source. Truman's journey shows how that begins, not through force, but through noticing, through questioning, through allowing doubt to lead somewhere deeper. And once that process begins, it continues. Each realization builds on the last. Each moment of clarity removes another layer, until eventually the world no longer feels the same as it once did. The most powerful part of all this comes down to something simple. The place he lived never looked dangerous. It looked normal. It looked like a life anyone could accept without thinking twice. And that idea connects directly back to Gnosticism. The teachings suggest that what surrounds us may not reveal everything, that something deeper may exist beyond what we immediately see. The Truman Show leaves that idea open, not to give answers, to invite awareness. Because once someone begins to see clearly, the next step always waits. right at the edge. What are your thoughts on The Truman Show? Drop a comment. And don't forget to like, subscribe, share this video, and hit the bell notification. It really helps the channel grow. Also, join the Movie Magic membership for early access to all videos. And check out the producer credit, where you could become a producer on weekly video drops.